Hello students, welcome back to this channel. I hope you all are doing very well. As we all know that in the next 3 to 4 days you are going to sit for your English exam, and for most of you it will be going to be the first exam for this year for the board examinations 2024. Therefore it becomes very important for you to ace this exam well so as to set pace for all other exams. In this video we are going to discuss in detail the strategy for your English exam. Now I am not going to tell you which all topics are important, or I am not going to dive into a particular chapter. I would be just giving you a brief outline of how you have to attempt this English paper and how you have to go, with what strategy in mind you have to go in the exam and attempt this paper. So let's start with the English exam. As we all know that in English there are three sections. First is the reading section, second is the writing section, and third is the literature section. सबसे पहले हम बात करते हैं रीडिंग सेक्शन की. रीडिंग सेक्शन में दो पैसेजेस होते हैं. वन पैसेज इज मोर टुवर्ड्स डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन एंड सेकंड पैसेज इज अ फैक्चुअल पैसेज और अ डिस्क्रिप्टिव और मे बी अ स्टोरी लाइन वुड बी गिवन टू यू. In both the passages, the approach is very simple, that you have to answer the question which is being asked. There is nothing more you have to do in the reading section. It's a very simple, plain section. You have to answer what is being asked in the question on the basis of what you have read in the text. Most of the questions would be direct questions, and the answer you will get straight away from the text, while some of the questions will be analytical. कुछ questions होंगे जो analytical होंगे, जो आपको अपने एनालिसिस के हिसाब से पूरे पैसेज के हिसाब से आंसर करना पड़ेगा और डायरेक्टली किसी लाइन में गिवन नहीं होगा. हाउएवर मोस्ट क्वेश्चंस वुड बी डायरेक्टली टेक्स्ट बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस. सेकंड थिंग, देयर इज एन एम्फसिस ऑन लिटरेरी devices, poetic devices, vocabulary, antonyms, synonyms, even in reading section. So what is the technique in that? Whenever any antonym or synonym is asked, you have to place that word in place of the word which is being there in the passage. For example, you are asked a synonym of this particular word, then you, among those options, you have to put all those options in the line, in that paragraph, in that part where that question is, where that word is given in the passage, and you have to see which one sounds correct. Once you do this, you will get the correct answer for that. Third, again there would be poetic devices and literary devices, which you have already learned in the literature portion. You have to apply them directly. There is nothing else you have to do. Third would be that in the unseen passages, students waste too much time in understanding the passage. You don't have to analyze the passage, you don't have to memorize the passage, you just have to read the passage and answer the questions being asked. You don't have to do anything unnecessary in the reading section. You don't have to just keep on reading the same line again and again. If you're not able to understand, you just have to read the passage once, then you have to look at the questions, and then you can do a second reading of the passage to find the answers of those particular questions. This is what the general technique is. That is, you first skim through the passage, that what the passage is all about, then you read the questions, and then you read the passage again to find the answers of those questions. Now अब एग्जाम कंडीशन में कैसे करना है? At 10:15 you get the exam paper. From 10:15 to say 10:22 you would be able to read the passage in 7 to 8 minutes. Now you are able to skim through the passage in 7 to 8 minutes. Now from 10:22 or 10:23 onwards, you start looking on the questions and start marking the questions in the question paper with a pencil. So with the help of a pencil only, not with a pen, otherwise the invigilator might say you something, or she might even cancel the paper. With pencils you can put slight dots where these answers are, and that will be enough for you. As soon as it sticks 10:30, you are going to write the answer for the first passage. So from 10:30 to 10:40 you will be writing the answer for the first passage, passage number 1. Again you have to be very precise in writing answers of unseen passage. बहुत लंबे आंसर्स नहीं लिखने हैं, ये कोई लिटरेचर नहीं है, क्रिएटिव राइटिंग के आंसर्स नहीं लिखने, सिंपल डायरेक्ट आंसर्स लिखने, in which you are able to just cover what is being asked. कोई इंट्रोडक्शन, कोई कंक्लूजन कुछ नहीं देना. डायरेक्टली 2 to 3 लाइन्स के आंसर्स इसमें सफिशिएंट होते हैं फॉर 1 मार्क्स, एंड 2 मार्क्स के लिए 3 to 4 लाइन्स आंसर्स आर यूजुअली सफिशिएंट. हाउएवर देयर इज नो वर्ड लिमिट. कोई वर्ड लिमिट नहीं होती इंग्लिश के रीडिंग सेक्शन में कि आपको इस पर्टिकुलर वर्ड लिमिट के अंडर ही आपको आंसर्स लिखने हैं. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, कोई वर्ड लिमिट नहीं है. अगर कई बार कुछ पैसेजेस, कुछ क्वेश्चंस के आंसर 6 to 7 लाइन के भी हो सकते हैं और कुछ के आंसर जस्ट 2-3 लाइन्स के भी हो सकते हैं. सो आंसर्स बस प्रिसाइज होना चाहिए. आंसर प्रिसाइज होना चाहिए, कोई वर्ड लिमिट नहीं होती है. आंसर बस आपका प्रिसाइज होना चाहिए, जो क्वेश्चन में पूछा गया वो डायरेक्टली आपने आंसर करना है। अगेन जो एमसीक्यू क्वेश्चंस आएंगे उसमें आप ए बी सी डी कैपिटल में लिखेंगे, शॉर्ट में नहीं लिखेंगे, क्योंकि कई बार एग्जामिनर को ए बी सी डी जब स्मॉल लेटर्स में लिखा होता है तो उनको पढ़ने में कन्फ्यूजन हो जाती है। तो ए बी सी डी कैपिटल में लिखिए, और हो सके टाइम अलाउ, वैसे तो टाइम काफ़ी ही है तो आप उसमें पूरा एक का पूरा ऑप्शन भी लिख सकते हैं, या फर्स्ट वर्ड और लास्ट वर्ड तो एटलीस्ट लिख ही सकते हैं। वैसे टाइम काफ़ी होता है तो यू कैन राइट द एंटायर ऑप्शन ऑल्सो। Second, be very quick in unseen passage. You have to be very quick because unseen passage अगर आपने कर लिया अराउंड 11 ओ क्लॉक तक या 11:10 तक, टेक 11 AM ओनली, अगर 11 o'clock तक कर लिया देन यू हैव हायर चांसेस दैट यू विल गेट सम 15 to 20 minutes फॉर रिवाइजिंग द पेपर। अगर अदरवाइज अगर आपने 11 की जगह 11:15 पर करा देन 1:30 पर ही पेपर खत्म होगा, उससे पहले नहीं हो पाएगा। तो अनसीन पैसेज जल्दी करना है। अनसीन पैसेज में टाइम का बहुत ध्यान रखना है कि यू हैव टू डू इट विद इन 11 AM। सो दीज आर द बेसिक पॉइंट्स अबाउट अनसीन पैसेजेस। ज़्यादा इसमें कोई दिमाग लगाने वाली चीज़ नहीं है, क्योंकि बहुत ईजी होता है अनसीन पैसेजेस। कोई मोस्टली स्टूडेंट्स प्रिपेयर भी नहीं करते अनसीन पैसेजेस को, एंड इसमें ज़्यादा प्रिपेयर करने का कुछ है भी नहीं। यू हैव टू जस्ट आंसर द क्वेश्चन विच इज़ बीइंग आस्क्ड इन द टेक्स्ट एंड नथिंग एल्स इज देयर इन दिस। सेकेंड, आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट द राइटिंग सेक्शन. The writing section we are going to have two kinds of writing questions. First would be short compositions such as notice, invitation, replies, and second are long compositions such as report writing, letter writing, and article writing. The approaches for both are different, but what is common between them is the format. Format is important. You have to go with the same format as your schools have told you. Don't go with some other format. Don't follow any other format or any other books format. Just what your schools have thought or what is present in the CBSE marking scheme. Only follow those particular formats. I'm going to discuss in detail every questions. Like first, let's come to notice. In notice, marks are there for format, content, and expression. Format you all know for notices. For content, you have to be very crisp in both the short composition, whether it is notice or it is invitation or it is reply. You have to be very crisp, very precise with the content, because usually content doesn't carry a lot of marks here. Even in article and letter, they do not carry a lot of marks because there are marks for format and expression also. But in notice, invitation, reply, you have to be very precise. You don't have to be very creative. You have to be precise to the point. You just have to deliver what is being asked. You just have to convey a message through a notice or invitation, and you need not exaggerate it much. You need not do a lot of creative writing. But always remember to put them in the box at the end, and on the name of issuing authority, as you all know, in the notice, the name of the person who is writing, all those stuff are important, but you have to be very precise and mark the important things within the notice with the help of a pencil. Next comes is the letter. When you are writing a letter, always remember that there is a format for the letter. In the content and expression part, what you have to do in content, you have to first introduce yourself. When you are writing a letter, in the first part you have to introduce the problem or agenda. Then in the second part, in the body, in the second paragraph, you have to say about the agenda or the problem that you are talking about in the letter. So 3 to 4 problems usually we have to write, and then finally you have to draw some conclusion in the form of giving suggestions to the editor or asking him to publish it in the newspaper. So this is what you have to do. And what is the meaning of expression? Expression means how you convey your words, how you convey your message. Your communication should be as a normal communication we human beings do. That should be the level of communication. It should not be a very layman's communication. It should show some degree of professionalism. So that is what the meaning of expression is. If your content is perfect, you usually get full marks for expression, because expression is giving the content in the right manner. So if you are delivering it in the right manner, then you get full marks for expression. And format, you have to score full marks, because format is just you have learned and you have to just spit it in the exam. There is nothing else in format. Do not worry about the format much. Last is the article or report writing. I will always suggest to attempt article and not report writing, because in report writing you have to, there are certain kinds of restrictions, certain kind of rules of grammars that you have to follow in report writing. You have to assume yourself to be a reporter, while in article you can be much more creative in article. So article is full of creativity and there is very less restriction in article. So I would always emphasize on attempting the article. Now there are few points how can you make your article really glossy. So when you have to write an article, there are usually 3 to 4 paragraphs in article writing. Now in these 3 to 4 paragraph in article writing, the first paragraph is usually introduction. How can you make your introduction great? When you are writing the introduction, you start with some poem, some very short poems of 2 lines or 4 lines, or you start with some kind of quotes. That is the thought of day that you have in school, thought of the day. You start with those. If you remember, most of them you will not remember, but in case you remember a particular thought related to those particular that particular topic which is asked in the exam, then you write it. Otherwise, no issue. However, in introduction, you can also pose a question to the reader. If you pose a question, like if you ask a question, have you ever wondered why this happens? Have you ever wondered about this? Then the examiner or the reader would be very inquisitive to know what you are asking or what you are talking about in the letter. So posing a question is a good way of introducing the topic, writing in the first paragraph. Then second and third paragraph, it is you actually have a lot to write in article, but some students are not able to write. So in those circumstances, what we can do is we can write examples. We can give examples in our second or third paragraph. We can give data or statistics. Now, what do I mean by data and statistics? For example, you have to write an article on air pollution. Now you can say that according to Ministry of Health Welfare, 90% of the lung population lung problems are caused due to air pollution. You can write like this, but always make sure whatever the data you are giving, the data looks sound. The data doesn't look fake, or doesn't look just vague data. For example, I remember that in a class 10th, the teacher asked us to write a particular letter on a particular article on education, and one of the student, she wrote that there is only 25% literacy rate in the country, and the teacher was shocked, and she asked her that how can you assume 25% literacy rate? Do you see only 25% people around you to be literate? So always make sure that the data that you are going to write, it is a correct data. It is, you don't have to be exactly the same figures, but you have to make it look sound. The data should not sound vague data. It should look sound. Nobody is going to check कि data सही है या गलत है. No teacher is going to Google it. You can make the data on your own. And how you are going to make the data on your own? Just think of any particular authority who is managing that particular agent. For example, for air pollution, it can be World Health Organization, or it can be Ministry of Health or Ministry of Environment, like, or United Nations also you can give. So the authority which are dealing with these pollution kind of things. So you can just pick that, any organization you can pick, and you can say that according to this organization, and you can give any data, but the data should sound correct. So data is, if you give data, then it will have a really good impact on the mind of the teacher. Next is that sometimes students are not able to add what more content they should write in the second and third paragraph. So what happens in that case, what you have written in the second paragraph, you just mold the words of second paragraph and write it again in the third paragraph. Just mold the words. Means you are writing the same words, but just change the language and rewriting it in the third paragraph, because there should be some length of the the article that you are writing. It should not be a just very short article, and nobody is going to read in so much detail because there are so many papers to check. If you rewrite those words of the third paragraph, the teacher will assume that you have written something, and you will get marks surely for that. And then finally, in the last fourth paragraph, you have to give conclusion, and conclusion again, after the conclusion also you can give another quote or a thought if you remember. In case you don't remember, it's okay, but if you remember, you can give it. In the second and third paragraph, usually we state 3 problems for the topic you are going to speak of, or 3 benefits. Now, what are the major topics of, or the major themes for these articles? Usually there are set themes for articles across all the states, universities, or across all the exams, across all the examinations that happens. There are certain same level of themes, but in CBSE sometimes it may happen that some entirely new passage comes, but usually the themes remains the same. So what are those themes? Let's discuss them. First is the theme of education. Second is environment. Third is social causes. Fourth is sports. Fifth is culture, ethics, and you can say traditions. And sixth would be science and tech. And seventh you can say is health. So these are the major themes which usually come in examination. For example, in education, it can come like importance of libraries, importance of education, skill-based education, vocational education, national education policies. In environment, you can be asked to write a article on a particular pollution, air pollution, noise pollution, land degradation, or in environment, how to make our environment more clean, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, cleanliness, such kind of topic. In social causes, you can be asked to speak on gender equality, or you can be asked to speak on the dowry system. So such topics, they come under these kind of basic themes. And so what you can do is you can just search for a particular quote which can be written in any theme. Like for education, you can just search for a particular quote and you quote that in the exam for whatever topic related to education might come. So you just have to prepare 7 to 8 particular themes. You just have to remember 7 to 8 quotes for article writing, and you are going to just spit it in the exam. You are just going to write it in the exam, whatever quote you go from. So this is all about reading section and writing section. If you attempt this paper strategically, then by 11:45 your reading and writing section can be over, and I am going to discuss in detail at the end that how you can write at by what time you should complete which section of the paper. I'm going to discuss all this at the end.